All right, Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, the Yakim and the Aqua scattered around the four corners of the planet Earth. And I'll entitle this lesson "Why You Shouldn't Have Any Stock in This World." All right, why you shouldn't have any stock in this world. All right, and we have a prime example. All right here. In this video, which I'm going to link in the description of this video. And I came across it while I was on my way to work this morning, and I had to screenshot it, because immediately, the first thought in my mind was I got to do a video on this, and not because of Umar Johnson necessarily. All right. He's been a character within the so-called Black community. All right, which there is no such thing as the Black community. All right, the word Black means deaf. All right, and that's what the Black community is. It's dead. All right, and that's scripture. Proverbs 21:18. He that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. All right, so the so-called Black community it's not a community. It's nothing. It's dead men walking. All right, and that's why we have no affiliation with such community. We have no affiliation with anything that has to do with this world. All right, we're affiliated with these scriptures. All right, with these prophecies. All right, and you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, especially you so-called Negroes. All right, y'all are eventually going to realize that nothing here in Babylon the Great will ever work. All right, nothing here is going to be fruitful. Nothing here is going to be productive. All right, in the long term or in the short term, really either. All right, and that's why the scriptures tell you to disconnect. All right, the scriptures tell you to disconnect, and we'll start there, and then I'm gonna play a little bit of this video because basically, what this guy is reporting, what Umar is reporting. All right, and I'm not even going to get into the fact that he's basically been grifting his followers, which is mostly women, right? Mostly silly women, nigga women. All right, we ain't even gonna go into the fact that he's been grifting his followers for hundreds of thousands of dollars and millions of dollars for the last few years. All right, to build this so-called school or academy. All right, we really ain't even gonna go into that. All right, because again, it's irrelevant. Okay, a school is not going to save our people. All right, the solution to the problems for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, it's a spiritual solution. All right, it's a spiritual solution. All right, and the only way we're going to get out of this situation, all right, is through the deliverance of Yahweh Shah. All right, and the only way to be delivered by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai is to be obedient, all right, to the instructions in which he gave, which are documented in the scriptures, okay, via the doctrine, okay, via faith, all right. But Esau Edom, he's only going to be taken down by Yahweh Shah. All right, no amount of schools, no amount of banks, all right, no amount of hospitals, so-called Black institutions, it's never going to be enough. And even if it were to gain some traction, it would ultimately fail because this wicked flesh, all right, this wicked flesh, it would nothing. We can't do anything in this flesh. We got to be changed. All right, but let me not get too much off topic. Let me start here in Micah chapter 2. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." Okay, so you're supposed to disconnect. All right, and it says arise. All right, because when you disconnect, all right, really you're going to a higher plane, you're going to a higher level. All right, you're going to a spiritual level. Okay, and that's another thing. A lot of people, they think that the scriptures, the way in which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has instructed us to move and to operate, they think that it's low level. Right? They think that it's outdated, You know what I'm saying? They think that is just, you know, archaic, so to speak. All right, but really, we're upgrading demons, man. Brothers have conquered, you know, particular ailments, particular demons. All right, have overcome, you know, certain scenarios. All right, so there's a certain glory that comes with disconnecting as well. Okay, but Micah 2:10 it says, "Arise ye and depart, for it this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with the sword destruction." All right, and this entire world, this entire system, okay, all right, which is predicated upon the rulership of Esau, Edom, all right, and the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, which is his power structure, all right, NATO and the EU, all right, and the image, all right, which is, you know, basically the image of the beast, basically being, you know, Western civilization, all right, this these systems that he set up, all right, in which one of the systems is the banking system, all right, one of the systems that's a primary, you know, shackle upon, you know, our people and the whole entire earth is the banking system, okay, and debt, all right, which also points you to Revelation 13 and 16, okay, the MOTB, the CHIP, all right, and this example that we're going to play, all right, in this video with Umar, it's a prime example as to why, you know, the MOTB, the CHIP, the implantable micro CHIP that we teach, all right, it's going to be a checkmate. It's going to be a checkmate on the game, all right, and that's why the scriptures warn you not to get too caught up in money, not to get too caught up in this world, because ultimately what Esau got coming down the pike is gonna checkmate you. You ain't gonna be able to get out of it. Money's not gonna save you. Okay, Proverbs 11:4, riches profit not in the day of wrath. All right, let me go ahead and play this.
Friday, that sounds like Monday to me. The bank is giving us the runaround. We ain't got our check back, so we're about to operate attorneys. Attorneys is about to get involved because we were told that when your account gets canceled, you're supposed to get your refund check for the amount that was in the account. We have not received that yet. So there's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters. There's some funny business going on right now, brothers and sisters, but we're going to take care of all that. Stay patient. Stay positive. Stay patient. Stay positive. They messing with our bills. They messing with our automatic payments. They messing up a lot of stuff with this frozen account.
All right, and again, okay, like he's saying, basically, you know, allegedly, right? Whether it's true or not, we don't know. All right, because this nigga could just be freestyling right off the hip. You know, he could just be freestyling, you know, to get out to, you know, to get it out, all right, to fade off into the distance, right? This could be, you know, him, you know, maneuvering. But if it's true, it's a prime example, you know, and it's really a foreshadowing of what's to come. All right. And we see it playing out. All right. This is part of the reason why Esau wants to get rid of cash. All right, why he wants to get rid of cash and why he wants to move everything onto the blockchain. All right, which is basically, you know, just a ledger, way of keeping track. All right, of all the financial transactions, you know, that there are in existence. All right, and who's paid for who and who's, you know, that's where this is all going. This is all going to a digital system. All right, and once he moves everything onto this digital system, he'll basically have the markets. So basically have, you know, global finance in a chokehold. He'll have the monetary system on lock. All right. And again, this is why the scriptures tell you not to even waste your time doing all of this. Okay. The scriptures tell us to go out into the highways and the byways, man, and to just preach. Okay. And it's a simple thing, but it's a powerful thing. Okay. And it's the only thing that's gonna work. All right. So let's get that real quick. You know, let me get a few more scriptures. This isn't going to be a long video. but I did want to get this real quick. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 11 in verse 3. It says, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety," all right, and that's talking about, the serpent, in the book of Genesis. All right, it's talking about Eve when she was seduced. All right, when she was beguiled, okay, by the serpent, which was an actual warlock. All right, an actual man. All right, she was basically finessed, man. She was convinced, persuaded. All right, into basically, participating. All right, in a left hand. All right, way. All right, and we see in today's time, we see a lot of these false prophets. Okay, see a lot of these hirelings out here doing the same thing, man, beguiling simple people, man, taking their money, grifting. All right, and it all ends up being for nothing, for being for absolute naught, man. All right, but let me finish this out. This is 2 Corinthians 11:3. It says, "But I fear lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach." All right, and it's simple, man, what the Lord commanded us to do. All right, the Lord commanded us to preach. All right, if you're a man, if you're an Israelite man, the Lord commanded you to study, all right, and to teach, okay, and to be obedient, to build yourself up in this grace period. All right, that's really the that's what we've been told to do. Okay, and there's nothing Esau can do about that. All right, because even when he does come down, all right, because the famine of the word, is in the scriptures. All right, I want to say it's Amos 8:11. All right, the famine of the word is in the scriptures, but guess what? The damage has already been done. The word has already gotten out. Okay, there's nothing Esau can do. All right, and when he does come down, all that's going to do is check off another box. All right, of a prophecy. It's going to be a domino effect. Okay, so let me play some more of this. And Salakia for my sound. Salakia for the sound. Hopefully it's not too much.
Froze me and they froze the school. They froze me and they froze the school. But that's all right. That's all right. We're going to stay patient. We're going to stay positive, and we're going to see what they say on Friday, no later than Monday. But we need our check back so we can open up a new account and keep the ball rolling. We need our check back so we can open up a new account and keep the ball rolling. There's a lot of people saying a lot of things. I'm only going to say this to the Ephah Tunde faithful. There's a lot of people saying.
Nigga said the Ephah Tunde faithful, man. And that's you niggas' problem, man. All right, the only person you should be having faith in is Yahweh Shem Yahushua. All right, Yahweh Shem Yahushua can't be stopped and will not be stopped. All right, everything that the Most High said was going to happen has happened. Everything that the Most High, through his only begotten Son, has said he was going to do, he's done, and he will continue to do. All right, let's get that. Isaiah 55. This is Isaiah chapter 55. And I'm going to get verse. Let me see. This is Isaiah 55:10. It says, "For as the rain cometh down, and the snow from heaven, and return not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater," right? Because that's what the word has done. All right, the Rakakwadash, the Holy Spirit, the rain, right, the water, which is the word, right, it's come down from heavens, come from the heavens. All right, and it's been pushed by the men of the Lord. All right, and once that vibration is pushed out, it changes things on the earth. It produces things, produces a prophecy. Okay, that's the formula. That's the play. Okay, and like they say in the world, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, man. we ain't changing it up. We don't need a damn school, man. Right? If you want to learn, you want to get educated, get into them scriptures, man. Watch a video, take notes. All right. That's the education. That's the real education, man. That's the only education that really matters. All right. It's Isaiah 55:11. It says, "So shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper into the thing whereto I sent it." All right. And that's that power. That's power right there, man. Okay. Let's get this real quick. All right. Because you got a lot of Jake. All right. A lot of individuals out here that donate to these other guys, right? They waste their goddamn money, right? Struggling, can't pay their goddamn bills, tithing to these damn preachers, all right? Tithing to these damn grifters, paying for breakdowns, all right? When you don't need to do that. That's unnecessary, man. All right? But this is Ecclesiastes 8:4. It says, "Where the word of a king is, there is power. And who may say unto him, what doest thou?" Okay? So the power is in the word. All right? And the word has been going forth, all right, in the form of the men of the Lord pushing the word on the highways and byways. Okay? So this is a prime example, okay, as to why you should not have any stock in this world. You should not have any stock in your bank account. You should not have any stock in anything that got to do, all right, with Babylon the Great. All right? Because it's all going to fade away. It's all going to perish. Okay? Let me get something real quick. Let me get this. We're going to close out. This is a Sirach chapter 34. So Sirach chapter 34 and verse 1, it says, "The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools." All right. And we don't know. I don't know whether this, I don't know whether this, Umar, I don't know whether he was actually, because you got some people that believe he was, sincerely doing this thing. All right. But it was a foolish idea. It's a foolish idea once you understand. Okay, when you really understand, Yahweh Shem Shah and what he wants. Okay, Yahweh Shem Shah don't give a damn about your dreams. All right, that's a fucking Babylonian custom, man. Chasing dreams. It's a Babylonian thing, man. That's not scriptural. Okay, Sirach 34:1, it says, "The hopes of a man void of understanding are vain and false, and dreams lift up fools." All right. So your dreams, and I'll say this, because you can have dreams, you can have righteous dreams, you can have dreams that are rooted in understanding, you can have dreams that are rooted in prophecy. Okay, those are the dreams that we care about. We don't care about you wanting to build the damn Pan-African Academy. All right, all right. And for one, Pan-African meaning all Africa. Africa is made up of different people, man. Okay. And you niggas, you so-called Negroes, y'all are not Africans. All right. Africans are Hamites. All right. You Negroes, you are Israelites. Okay. This is a Sirach 34:2-3. It says, "Whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind." All right. And this entire system, all right, the American dream, right? This entire system is a shadow. It's a wind. You'll never be able to actually take hold of it. All right, because it's an illusion. It's a myth. All right, and more people are starting to figure that out. You got more and more people on the internet crying and boo-hooing about, life here in America, and it's because they didn't know. They didn't know it was a shadow. They didn't know it was nothing. It was never anything. It was a lie. Okay, but I just wanted to get that real quick. Eventually, brothers, we can finish with this, Salakia. I know I keep saying that, but I gotta finish with this. Because eventually, man, all this is gonna be irrelevant. Your bank account, right? All these things, your stock portfolio, your 401k, man, your crib, your car, all that's irrelevant. All that is getting ready to be taken away. Okay, Isaiah 10:20. But it also makes me think about that second Ezra, I want to say 16, where it talks about being pilgrims. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 20. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day that the remnant of Israel and such as are escaped of the house of Jacob shall no more again stay upon him that smote them, but shall stay upon the Lord and the Holy One of Israel in truth. All right, and let's get this word stay, just for edification. That word stay, sha'ain, it says to lean on, to trust in, to support. Okay, so we're done trusting in this system. We're done trusting in all these things of the world. We're done with that. Okay, we trust in these scriptures. All right, and we trust in the things that Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is doing on the planet Earth. Okay, but just wanted to make a quick point on that. Lord's willing, this was edifying. With that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Bashem Makakodah. Shalom.